What is going on, everybody? It's week 4 of the NFL. It's the lead word. Chad Bauman, Trey Daubert, special guest star. You can't. She's back there all the way in the back on the bed. Bo. She was right here in the front, but now she's over there back by the pillows. You can't see her. She's hiding behind the blanket. Say hi, Bo. Trey, what's going on?
It's going. I'm undefeated in fantasy, Chad. I can't believe you didn't get Carson Wentz. But
I am not defeated in fantasy. I have one win, but I am not undefeated for sure. I thought I was gonna get him. I bid $4 on him. I was like, oh, that should be good. Like maybe people do 1, 2, like try to save. What got me is I guess whoever got him, I looked at his cap space.
$6.
He had $19 to spend. That's after he got Wentz. He still has $19. I thought I had a lot of cap going into free agency. This guy's got 19. Must have had 25 because he spent 6 on Wentz.
The only thing I've been able to think about for the last 2 days is Carson Wentz, Chad. I just think with this whole Vikings, JJ McCarthy thing, I mean, that game was a beatdown. Carson Wentz was good, but he wasn't the reason why it was a beatdown. They beat the Bengals 48-10. Was never close. Here's my whole point with the whole thing. Isaiah Rodgers now has more touchdowns than JJ McCarthy. I just want to know your opinion on this. I don't think it's totally 100% impossible that Wentz does take this job for the rest of the year. Your thoughts, Chad?
I would say that's not impossible at all. There's a couple reasons. One, the coach came out after the game, and I don't know the full details on McCarthy's injury, but he did come out after the game, and they basically said, "Hey, we're looking at Wentz right now." He said it. He's like, "Hey, we're the guys. Like, he's earned a shot." You got that, and I know Carson. And I know Carson gets a lot of heat because I've been the biggest Carson defender. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm up there with you.
Even if you ignore like what Carson did first couple years with the Eagles, obviously he had the bonehead year. There was some bonehead stuff that he did outside of that. Like when he was with the Colts, right? He didn't play bad with the Colts.
No.
Like, yes, every once in a while he threw a bad pick. They made the playoffs the one year. Everyone was like, oh, well, Wentz had a terrible game in the playoffs, but that was because he hadn't played for 3 weeks prior because he got COVID. So he was coming back from the COVID, hadn't played for 3 weeks, and now he's starting in the playoffs. Earned his fair share of criticism, but I don't feel like people remember how good he can actually be. Memes and stuff about Chris Collingsworth, gargling Mahomes' balls, and people forget Wentz used to do a lot of the stuff Patrick Mahomes does. He was doing it before Mahomes was doing it, though. So, even though they're in the same draft class, I'm admitting, he was.
No, they weren't in the same draft class. He was in the golf.
Wentz was a year earlier then.
He was in the golf draft.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so like I said, Wentz was doing it before Mahomes did, but then he just, got the knee injury, and honestly, just had some bad luck going from a couple teams. Wentz has a shot. I would not deny the Wentz train. I think there's something to that, and he's got competent receivers. Minnesota's got a good offensive line. He's got a shot.
Well, I say all that because I thought the Vikings really screwed up by not just hitting Darnold with the franchise tag. It's you won all these games. You went 14-3. You made the playoffs. And because his offensive line completely crumbled with O'Neal got hurt and Darisaw got hurt, and their line's still a problem because their line crumbled and they couldn't block Detroit. Now Darnold sucked, and then we're not going to pay him. And now we're just going to pretend McCarthy's the answer when he's clearly not really. I like McCarthy, but he's not really ready to play. That's pretty obvious. And I mean, he had one good quarter against the Bears. We can
give him the second half. We can give him the second half.
Sure. He had one good quarter against the Bears.
One good half.
And that Falcons game was brutal. I mean, that Falcons game was brutal. It sounds like they're legitimately auditioning Wentz, he's got a real shot to take the job. And look, if Case Keenum can go to the NFC title game, why can't Carson Wentz, Chad? Why can't Carson Wentz?
I mean, technically, Carson Wentz has been to the NFC title game.
I know.
Been to the AFC title game too. And you got a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Let McCarthy learn from a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
All I'm saying is I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if McCarthy redshirts this year. And Minnesota's defense is legit.
No, it is. And like I said, I think even if you take Minnesota's defense out of it, obviously they're very good. I think Isaiah Rodgers was a very good. What'd you say?
I think they're very part of the conversation because they can legitimately win a lot of fucking games if McCarthy just doesn't stink it up. And if Wentz is just hey, He's scoring you 2 touchdowns a game. Maybe he has one boneheaded pick, but he's actually putting up points. They're dangerous.
I agree. And like I said, I think one of the things that kind of happened, and this led to Wentz's downfall in Philly was, and it, like, I don't want to sound ungrateful here, but like this kind of led to Wentz's downfall was Nick Foles' success. And I think not Nick Foles' success, and then like you had everybody was like, oh well, Nick Foles should be our starter now because he won the Super Bowl. Not that. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, like, and there, like, you can go back, you can listen to like the offensive coordinators, you can listen to Dougie P's interviews and stuff. Like in the years after that Super Bowl win, they changed their offense and they incorporated a lot of the stuff that was successful with Foles. But that's not the stuff that Carson Wentz did well, and I think it impacted his play.
I think we talked about that.
Like I said, I think if they roll with Carson and they do things that Carson's good at, they're a dangerous team. Because like I said, Carson has amazing arm talent. You got Justin Jefferson, arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. Got a good offensive line, good defense. Isaiah Rodgers, again, I know he's a former Eagle, but that was a good pickup for them. He's a solid player.
Van Ginkel is unbelievable too.
They got a good team in Minnesota. And I mean, after what we saw from, the Fudge Packers this weekend, they might they definitely have a shot at the division.
I want to hear this rant you have about targeting, or not targeting, taunting, because but go ahead.
It's so gotten out of hand at this point, right? And obviously, like, I haven't seen every single target. Now you got me saying it. I haven't seen every
targeting's a problem too, though. Targeting in college football is the worst. The worst.
Well, I don't really watch college football. From my understanding of what I've heard about that, it's a conversation of it's not like very consistently officiated. But I guess you could say my problem with the taunting thing
out of the game. They're throwing dudes out of the game for playing hard.
Yeah, but I guess my grievance isn't the same. I was gonna say maybe it's a little bit similar, but my grievance with the taunting is not. It's just ridiculous, right? Like, first of all, it's being officiated super fucking inconsistent. And again, I haven't seen every single taunting call that's been called since they implemented that rule change this year. But it's like at least the ones that I have seen. Like, give the example, Puka Nacua against the Eagles. Like, he gets up and he flexes. That's a taunting penalty. He wasn't, like, even doing it directed at any one individual person. He literally got up, flexed in the general vicinity of an Eagles player, and they threw a penalty. Like, I'm obviously not a Rams fan, but I was mad when I saw that penalty. I was like, what are we doing here? Then the game against with the first one that I saw was what's his name? He played for Georgia. That describes like half of the. That describes like half of the Eagles' defense, but it was
Nolan Smith had one, right?
Yeah, Nolan Smith got the first one that I saw, and that was just like he got up. Yeah, he got kind of talked to the guy in his face, kind of flexed on him, and then same game after Hurts scores on the one QB run, literally Stephon Diggs runs down like 50 yards. Literally talking in Jalen Hurts' ear hole, half the field, no flag. But Puka Nacua flexing in the general vicinity of an Eagle, that's taunting. It's so ridiculous. It's inconsistent. You can't have this penalty in a league where you're allowed to celebrate, because now the refs have to sit there and it's like that Key and Peele skit. They have to look. Is that 3? No, he's only got 2 pumps. Is that? No, that's the 3rd pump. Flag. That's what we're doing right now. It's so fucking stupid. It's and these are grown men. These aren't children. I think they can handle some mean words. Like, come on, what are we doing here?
It's really bad. I think the worst part of it is it really slows down the game. I know that wasn't part of your rant, but like sometimes, sometimes I will tape games and then fast forward through shit. It's unbelievable how much time the flags add to the game. Like if you're just like running the ball, picking completions, the difference in time between how long the game takes, it's miles apart when these fucking flags are involved.
It's ridiculous. And you said that, and I something came to mind, and I kind of forgot what I was going to say now. I don't remember what it was, but Like, I just think it's so dumb. Like, can we please treat grown men like grown fucking men and not handhold them? Oh, it's okay, sweet baby. He said some mean words, but we'll give him a timeout. What are we doing?
Now, I do think there should have been a flag for Jalen Carter spitting on someone, though.
I am not against that. I did not say he shouldn't get a penalty for that. I just said that, like, suspending him for multiple games because of it is a ridiculous thing. And to be fair, that also was not that wasn't a taunting penalty. That was something else.
But that's what I'm saying. If anything, that should have been a taunting. That should have been taunting. Somebody spitting on somebody. Yeah, that should be a flag.
Well, then he wouldn't have gotten ejected. You can't call 2 different penalties on the same guy for one action.
I guess. I don't know.
That would be like calling a holding penalty at the same time you call a face mask. Like, well done.
Speaking of the guy that got spit on in his team, the Cowboys are dreadful, and I mean dreadful. Again, I guess the receipts are out there. I maintain that the Chicago Bears are not really a good football team.
They are not.
But holy shit, like, how bad is this Cowboys defense? It is pretty clear that the Chicago Bears at least got some revenge on Matt Eberflus, because I don't know how anybody hired that guy to run a defense. I understand they lost Parsons, but they can't be this bad, can they, Chad? Like, it's not like they have nobody, right? Like, they brought in Kenny Clark as part of the trade. Like, they got Odiggy Zoo. Like, they got some guys, not like, this is horrible. I mean, horrible. Chad, Russell Wilson is like unplayable. And he put up, how many points did he put up last week?
40. 30. Well, I think it was 30. It was 40 or 39. I don't remember.
37. He put up 37 points and he looked completely unplayable. This Cowboys defense, it's like one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. I don't know who they're beating.
But their offense isn't much better either.
Their offense is way better than their defense. Yeah, they're at least putting up points. Some points.
I mean, what did they have? 17 against the Bears? 20? Yeah, well, I guess it was like 20, I think.
They had, I want to make sure I get it right, 14 against the Bears.
Yeah, I think league average for last year was probably
they had 40 against the Giants.
What the hell? I could have 40 against the Giants.
Chiefs didn't put up 40 against the Giants.
Well, they got a whole gaggle of problems of their own. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation.
I just like Jerry Jones keeps talking about, like, oh, we can flip these Packer picks. Like, oh, we're not done making the team better because we can take what we got from the Parsons trade and trade for more stuff. It's like, you should go in tank mode, buddy, because you're not. I don't know who you're beating.
Well, I mean, so as much as it pains me to agree with anything Jerry Jones says, because he's like, senile, and makes me feel like I might be going senile at this point if I agree. He's not wrong, right? Like,
he is 1,000% wrong.
There's been teams that have made adjustments, at the trade deadline and gotten better. Again, I hate to bring them up, feel like I always do, but in what was it, 2022, the year the Eagles lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, they didn't start the year with CJGJ on the team. They traded for him at the deadline. So, like, he's not wrong that they can't get better. Where he's wrong is that he's the one that's going to be making those decisions, so they will not get better. Like, that's where he's wrong. It's not the idea of, hey, we can make some stuff happen. It's, you won't because it's you. That's what makes it wrong.
They're done. Like, they may as well trade Pickens for a third round pick. Like, I
feel bad for George Pickens.
You feel bad for him?
Yeah. Did you see him on the sidelines? The guy's losing his fucking mind.
But I'm saying, like, they're not beating anybody. So, like, Pickens shouldn't be on this. Like, get a pick for him. Start over. Like, you're done. There's no turning this thing around this year.
Let me ask you this, because we're talking about it. We're talking about blowing the Cowboys up. And, I wouldn't be opposed to that. I'd be opposed to them
rebuilding confidently. It's done. This is done.
So would you move on from Dak then? Because I think Dak's like 34. You throwing him away?
Yes.
Trading him into the division? Send him over to the Giants?
Well, he's probably, I don't know what the dead money on it would be, but I would 1,000% draft another quarterback if he wants to start for a year above, like, hey, we got a rookie, then the rookie takes over the following year sort of thing. Yes, I thought no problem moving off of Dak.
So let me ask you this. Who would be safe if you're Jerry Jones? Because obviously you're not going to trade everybody away. I'm assuming Diggs is safe.
Lamb, that's it.
Only Lamb.
Only Lamb. And Tyler Smith, I guess, because they just signed him, the guard.
Okay. You're moving away from Diggs, though, because, I mean, he had injury last year, but he did have a great interception.
I don't think he's been playing that well to where he's like unmovable.
Deron Bland.
I guess he just signed him too. So
Okay.
Bland, Tyler Smith, and Lamb. Everybody else should be available to some degree.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Jerry Jones' pride would let him do that, though. Like, I think he genuinely feels like – I feel like he genuinely feels like I'm one or two pieces away from this thing, and –
He's not. He's not.
Yeah. He won't. He's not going to blow it up. I can tell you that right now.
He should. He
should, but he won't.
All right.
Speaking of the NFC East.
Yeah.
All right, Trey. So I had to talk about it over the weekend. Yeah, because Sunday. After the dreadful Sunday night game, Giants and the Chiefs, they were interviewing Malik Nabers, and obviously he's frustrated because he's on the Giants.
No.
And he goes, obviously it's not the quarterback, because it's the same thing when we had DJ. So it's obviously not the quarterback. I don't know what it is, but it's obviously not the quarterback. Do you think is that a shot at Brian Daboll? Is that a shot at the front office? Because I got to be real with you, Malik, those things aren't mutually exclusive. It could have been the quarterback, and it could be something else. Because I know Daniel Jones is doing real good in Colts land right now, Indianapolis. But how good is he really? Like, I know he's got some stats, but I mean, looking at that game, those games that they've played, those 3 games, Miami, the Broncos, and Tennessee. The only team that I feel like is really any kind of good that they played was I shouldn't say good. They're okay, but has a pretty good defense is the Broncos. I think Miami's defense, they have as much pushback as like wet tissue paper. Tennessee's not very good at all. I mean, obviously they were picking top 5, right? Or
picking
top 5,
first.
top 10.
First.
Oh, first. Yeah. So yeah, definitely top 5. So like, yes, Daniel Jones is playing well, but that doesn't mean that he wasn't one of the many problems that the Giants had. That's kind of where I'm going with this. Like, I don't know, Malik. I think you're just going to be in for a rough one. Like, you got to get used to this losing thing for a while, because they don't have the front office that's making intelligent decisions. They got clowned all of last year because of Hard Knocks. Like, I just wouldn't be sleeping well if he's, goes to Philly with Saquon. And I think, like I said, I don't think it's mutually exclusive that the quarterback was bad and you have other problems. The Giants have no good offensive line. The only real unit that I would say is any kind of good on their entire team is their defensive line. And the only other player I like outside of that, other than Malik Nabers, is Cam Scatterbo. But I don't think he's that good. I just like, hey, he's a fun guy to watch.
All right, so I have some
Reminds
thoughts.
me of Peyton Hillis a couple years ago when he made the Madden cover. That's why I like him, I think.
So for Nabers, I think we just have to accept that he's the new Odell. He lacks self-awareness. He's going to speak when he shouldn't, and he's going to constantly find things to bitch. And early, he's going to show that he's talented, but late, he's going to fade, and then eventually we'll sit back and say, wow, his like first 5 or 6 years were awesome, and then he didn't really do shit after he got paid. So I think that's probably the track you're looking at there. But with the Giants, like
but he's not wrong. Like, what do you want him to say? Like, hey, yeah, I like losing.
No, he's not wrong, but also like they constantly throw him the ball. Like he bitched and bitched and bitched about how I want my targets, and as long as I have my targets, I don't care. Like, I don't know, man. Like, it doesn't seem like he's really a team first guy at all.
Okay. You don't need to be a team first guy to win, and it doesn't seem like the Giants are doing a lot of winning one way or the other.
Sure.
You need an offensive line. I mean,
we have a video on the YouTube channel where it was literally me bitching for an hour about how stupid Joe Shane is. So anybody that wants to watch that, a lot of my thoughts are there. But yes, there's no question that guy has no clue how to run a team. And Brian Daboll in that Hard Knock series pretty much showed that he is an independent contractor in terms of he's cool running the offense. He's not a real head coach, and he's got nothing to do with the defense. And the defense, that the way that defensive coordinator handled that overtime with the Brandon Aubrey field goal was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
Well, I will say this one as far as Brian Debo is concerned. I mean, at least the offense, like, despite their lack of talent, doesn't look terrible. Like they're
Well, I don't think
at
he's bad
times
at
they're
both.
moving the ball. I know we kind of like just shat on the Dallas defense, but 40 against Dallas.
I don't think he's a bad play caller. That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying like he's it looks like he's just trying to do the Lord's work over there, but doesn't have too much help. Well, let me ask you though, like what are your thoughts on the whole Daniel Jones aspect of it, right? Like cuz I mean, he doesn't look too bad, with the Colts, but like I guess what I've kind of seen of him with the Colts is like the long ball doesn't look great from him. He's still kind of like,
No,
he's short on the long ball. His short to kind of intermediate ball passes, not too bad. But I think a lot of that's more the scheme that they got going on and the fact that they have a pretty good offensive line in Indianapolis. And then there's the Jonathan Taylor effect where like every play action pass is just like somebody's going to be wide open because you're so scared of Jonathan Taylor ripping one.
Yeah, I think number one, Jonathan Taylor's out of his mind right now. Number two, I think more than anything, we're seeing just how bad Anthony Richardson was. Like, I've been saying this pretty much all offseason. It is crazy that Blake Bortles has won the AFC South more recently than the Indianapolis Colts have. Like, that is absurd. So the fact that, like, this team, like, couldn't win shit with Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones makes them that much better. How bad was Anthony Richardson really? I think that's the question.
Honestly, that's a fair point. I didn't even think about it from that aspect of things. Because like even when you think about it, right? I mean, they're 3-0 right now, but to be honest with you, they should have lost to Denver.
Richardson is losing those games.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Because he's not completing 50%. Is the problem.
Or he's not running QB sneaks either.
Or he gets too tired and subs himself out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Yeah, that's what it was.
But yeah, I mean, he's like what? Daniel Jones is a B- quarterback.
B- is I feel like generous. I would say at best C+. But
okay,
I think he's average to maybe a little above average.
Okay, but that goes to show how bad is this fucking Richardson? How bad is this fucking Richardson? He's an F. D. No higher than a D.
As someone that thought he might be kind of good coming out of college, I'll give you the D there. No pause.
All right, Chad. Good show.
Yeah.
Anything else coming up for the week? Other than I'm sure everyone cannot wait to watch Parsons sack Dak 100 times.
Is that's not the Thursday game, is it?
Sunday night game.
Oh yeah, that'll be good. I don't know. I'm just looking forward to the Eagles beating the Bucks hopefully once in my lifetime. Honestly, I don't ever remember watching the Eagles beat the Buccaneers. It feels like whenever the Eagles play the Buccaneers, there's always some crazy thing that happens. Like I remember in like 2008 they played the Buccaneers and their kicker like tied the NFL record or broke it at one point against the Eagles for field goal distance. Like something like that always happens.
Didn't they play them in the playoffs like a long ass time ago with Brian Westbrook?
Yes, but they also, I think it was Jalen's second year in the league. They played the Bucks and they got stomped.
That was more recently. I'm talking. They lost like a heartbreaking playoff game to Tampa a long time ago. When
I think you're thinking about the one. So what you're thinking about? So there's two games that come to mind. It's they lost to them in like the divisional round of the playoffs. That was the year that the Bucks won the Super Bowl. And like Donovan McNabb like broke his ankle during the game.
Yeah.
And then they lost.
Yeah, he broke his.
Remember correctly,
that was his ankle in that game, right? He broke his ankle that game
during that game. Yes. Yeah. So then that was the very last. So if I'm remembering correctly, that playoff game was the very last playoff game or last game, I should say, at Veterans Stadium.
Yeah.
After that, they blew it up, and then they opened the link in the next year.
Yeah.
And they played the Bucks in like week 2 or something like that. And the Eagles got absolutely smashed in like the home opener, the very first game ever played in the link. So not only did we lose to them in the very last game of the vet, they beat us at like it may not have been the very first game at the link, but it might have been like the very like it may have been like the second game ever played at the link.
You got some PTSD anytime you play the Bucks.
They always lose to the Bucks. I don't know why. It's like when the Phillies play the what is Miami's baseball team? The Marlins. They always, like, no matter how bad the Marlins are, the Phillies always lose to them. Same thing with the Eagles and Tampa. No matter how bad Tampa is, the Eagles will lose to them. I don't know what it is. And they lost to them also, like, the year after the Super Bowl. After they won the Super Bowl, they played Tampa, and Deshaun Jackson was on the Bucs, and he had like 300 yards receiving. It's crazy the way they lose to the Buccaneers. It's insane, dude. I can't, like, I'm telling you. Like, if you go back and look at these games, like, I'm not making this up. It's insane the way they lose to them.
I know. All right, Chad. So we'll look forward to that this upcoming weekend. Good show. Hopefully we both win in fantasy again.
Yeah. Might be tanking in fantasy, so be on the lookout. Jameer Gibbs might be coming your way.
All righty.
All right. Well, give us if you're not already subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give the video a like, comment, get the YouTube algorithm going a little bit there. Other than that, we'll see you next time.